What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Week 17 edition of the Sunday Social over on the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel. I'm your host for one last time this season, Dylan Clemons. Here with me kicking off the show, as he is always, is Matt Krubel from the Parlay FF, guys. Glad to have you back, Matt, for this final week. But, guys, we have a loaded lineup set up for you. We have Matt kicking things off. We have Joe Bond, founder of Fantasy Six Pack and multiple-time top 5 ranker, coming in here talking his rankings and going over some storylines that we have in week 17. Because, Matt, you know as well as I do, it's been crazy with injuries, people just sitting out because the seasons are over. So there's a lot of big question marks here heading into the main slate of games today. Then we have Keith Flemming, Kyle Senra, Ike Bonni here coming on to talk and answer all your start sit questions. And then Keith is going to stay for the final 15 minutes segment of the show to talk about his DFS slate. And it's going to be an interesting one, like we just said. So, Matt, great to have you back, my friend. I hope your Christmas was wonderful with the family. Hopefully you got to sit down and watch some of these college football bowl games. Did you have any money on any of that stuff, or do you kind of shy away here with all the opt-outs and all that nonsense?
It's tough with all the opt-outs. It's tough. You know, I had a feeling of a few games that I definitely sprinkled a little bit of Keyshawn. But yeah, I typically kind of stay away when bowl games get here, unless it's just something that's, that's a big gut feeling, just because there's so many guys that sit out. And, it's NIL, it's good, but they need to do something about these bowl games and having commitment and loyalty to your program. They need to figure something like that out.
Yeah, something needs to change with the bowl games. I don't know really what the answer is, man. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. That's a topic for a different show, I guess. But it's something. Just in college sports in general, Matt, the idea of NIL, it was never supposed to be pay for play. It was supposed to be when you sell a jersey, you're supposed to get money from that and all this stuff. And the NCAA just put zero guardrails up for all of this stuff. And now, Matt, we're seeing guys I don't know if you're a basketball watcher or not, but we have guys that were drafted in the NBA draft in the second round, never play in the league, but go to the G League, man. I don't know if you saw. Now, one of those guys is going back to play for Baylor this year and is immediately eligible.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
I know. That's so weird. I don't know I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know what's going on.
For the NCAA to put this all in and just put no rules, no guardrails around it it's totally NCAA. That's what they do. They're maniacs, but man. All right, let's set that aside, Matt. Let's jump into your betting card this week, my guy. What do you got?
All right. So, looking at the slate this week, like you just said earlier, there could be guys sitting out. There's some games there's not much to play for anymore, but I'm going to try to stick to some games that there is something worth still playing for. And that being said, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks Panthers,
Nice.
Carolina Panthers game. Carolina Panthers is pretty much +7, +6.5, +7.5, even in one of these on these platforms. I'm going to roll with the Panthers this week. They're playing at home. There is something that they still have to play for. And looking at the lines over on FanDuel, you get it at +7.5, which is probably where I would sit. That's probably where I'd lean. It's +6.5 over on DraftKings. So I don't know what the discrepancy is with the full point between those two platforms. They're battling against each other. I'm probably going to roll with the 7.5 on FanDuel. I like that number better. Give me the 7 and the hook. Just because I know that if the Seahawks win, I just hope that it's, by 7 instead of 7.5.
Sure.
Or 8,
no
or
doubt.
whatever,
I like the thought there for sure. And as a Bears fan, man, they clinched the NFC North last night, Matt. And if Carolina wins and Seattle loses, the Bears have a chance to get that number 1 seed still if they can figure out a way to beat the 49ers. So I'm cheering for the Panthers today. I'm going to be locked into that one, and hopefully they can win it here. But getting the 7.5, like you said, that's nice. The hook is perfect. Even if they lose by a touchdown, obviously you're still fine. So I like that. And Carolina, man, I think this is their year to win the NFC South, man. I think it is. And Tampa Bay's finally healthy, but they're not clicking on all cylinders. Baker's still struggling a little bit, and Carolina, Bryce Young might be their franchise guy. I don't know how great he could truly be, but can he be a solid game manager? I think we've found that out to be true, Matt, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for me is just watching the Panthers from the start of the year to now. You see that change. You know, every year we talk about can these young quarterbacks, when are they going to click? When is something going to click and they're going to start rolling? You know, Trevor Lawrence, it's taken what, 4 years, 5 years, whatever.
We had that conversation earlier this year, remember, on this show.
And he's looking phenomenal now. Did something click? Was it Liam Combs? I don't know what the answer is completely, but Bryce Young has seemed to, from week 1 to now, like you just said, seems like he's being a very good game manager. He's got pieces around him. He's spreading the ball around. They look like a competent football team.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's why I'm on the Panthers this week.
Sure. Yeah, and Keith and I talked about it a little bit last week, Matt. I think we need to go back with the way the transfer portal is and everything, and quarterbacks bouncing from team to team. I think we need to go back in the NFL and start sitting these quarterbacks so they have more time to develop, because they're not getting that development in college, because they're not sitting in a certain scheme and all that stuff and learning all that. But another conversation for another day,
time.
But all right, Matt, do you got what else you got here?
Okay, so after that game, you know, I'm looking at some other games, and realistically, there's a lot like up in the noon slate that are very intriguing to me. Like, I think another one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some money and I'm going to put it down on the Pittsburgh Steelers at -4.5 playing at Cleveland. This is a big game for them. The Baltimore Ravens won last night, left themselves hope to get in, to stay in, you know, playoff chances. The Steelers, they have to win. If they win today, they clinch the NFC North. So you're playing the Browns. We know what the Browns look like. You know, their offense just isn't really that good. They lost Quinshon Judkins. I don't know who they're going to give the ball to today. Obviously, the Browns defense is still worth it. Myles Garrett is still chasing that record. But I think the Steelers, I know DK Metcalf, he's suspended for 2 games. What an idiot. Sorry, pardon my French. Don't ever do that kind of crap when you're in the NFL. Just let those people talk. You make millions of dollars. But even regardless, I think the Steelers have enough talent to move the ball. Both their running backs look good. Yeah, I'm going to take, and plus it's my team, right? Steelers are my team. So I'm going to take the Steelers -4.5 in that matchup.
Doesn't seem like the number is big enough, Matt, with how bad the Browns are, and they're missing their best offensive player in Quinshon Judkins, like you said. I get it, DK's out. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and yeah, if you look at the over-under, the total points, it's at 35.5. It opened at 40.5, and now it's at 35.5. So that is a very low, low number. And typically these NFC North matchups, it is low. Like you don't really see a whole lot of points scored. But yeah, it's wild. I'd almost be, to be honest with you, I'd almost be tempted to lean the under of 35.5 as well. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be like a 13-17 game or something like that. You know, it's not going to be a high scoring game, I don't think.
Right on. And I'm going to ask this question to Joe in the next segment, but I'm curious your thoughts with you being a Pittsburgh fan. You lock it into their games with DK suspended for 2 games, Matt. If you could just help our fantasy audience, who do you think is the biggest benefactor with DK being out? Is it old man Adam Thielen? Is it one of the tight ends? Are they going to be more involved? Is Kenneth Gainwell going to catch even more passes out of the backfield? What are your thoughts here on that?
I mean, to be quite honest with you, just watching him all season long, I think Kenneth Gainwell's obviously going to be a factor out of the backfield. He's been a factor the last, 8-9 weeks. Mm-hmm. But no, I do think that the tight ends will get more involved this week. We see you don't know which one to choose from. Like, I don't know why they don't throw it to Darnell Washington more. Is he getting too tired? I mean, that guy, you can't bring that dude down. He's just a freaking monster. But no, I like Freiermuth. I like all the tight ends, honestly. I think they will get a little bit more involved. Calvin Austin, I don't know what I just don't know what the wide receivers' roles really are. And we really haven't seen Adam Thielen get mixed in a whole lot yet. Right. So I don't really know. I just think there's going to be a dose of tight ends and running back use a lot today. And as far as the wide receiver goes, I'm not 100% certain what the answer is to that one.
No, that's definitely fair. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what you expect from an Arthur Smith offense, right? Is the tight ends and the running backs. So that's probably what we'll end up seeing there. You got any more, Matt?
I could throw one more out, and it is I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to roll the dice on a over-under, and that's going to be the Cardinals-Bengals. And this is all banking that MHJ is going to play. And even if he does play, I think it's going to be a low snap count for him, a lower snap count for him. But the over-under on this matchup is 53.5. And we already know that the Bengals are still playing, right? We already know that they're still trying to play their hearts out, which is good. That's good for us to watch, right? We don't want to see a bunch of
Absolutely.
I don't want to see a bunch of backups playing all the time. You know what I mean? Like it's still the football. So I want to see the starters want to play. So the over-under is 53.5. I think these offenses could just have some fun today. I really do think that they could just have some fun, sling the ball around, just have a good time playing football. And let your guys just eat. So 53.5, it's a little high, but at this point in time in the season, I want to have some fun. So I'm going to take the over in that and just hopes that we see some good, fun football today from those two teams.
I think it lines up, Matt. I think it does. You know, we saw Burrow bounce back last week, got Chase involved early, and this Arizona Cardinals offense has been humming for the most part in the back half of the season with Jacoby Brissett. It's like, what are they going to do with their quarterback situation? Like, is Jacoby Brissett really their guy heading into next year? Is Kyler shipped off?
I think Kyler is gone. Like, in my personal opinion, I think Kyler's going to be shipped away. And I think they are going to draft a quarterback, and they're going to give Jacoby Brissett the benefit of the doubt to start the year next year. That's my thoughts, and then see what happens. But yeah, I honestly don't think Kyler Murray's going to be an Arizona Cardinal next year. Right
on, man. What a fun reclamation project for Jacoby Brissett. We thought he was toast. You know, he got replaced in Indy. It's crazy. It is just a resurgence here, man. Goes to show like what it does for a quarterback to be in a specific scheme that fits his assets and stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff for sure, man. I do want to touch on one other game if you could here. We talked about the NFC South and the Panthers battle here against Seattle. Let's talk about Tampa Bay, who's been scuffling. They get Miami on the road here. Tampa Bay favored by 5.5. You got any thoughts here with Tampa Bay going against Quinn Ewers and the Dolphins? Do you like them covering that 5.5?
You know, I've been a big Buccaneers advocate all year. I don't know why, but I've always been on their side every single week. I think I probably will stay on their side this week because we saw what that Dolphins offense looked like. I mean, Devon Achane's he's going to do what he's going to do. Yep. But the rest of that offense is just not good. Like, it's just not. When you watch them play, I feel like they get lucky a lot, and they're still not winning games. You know, the over-under of this game is 44.5.
Yep.
And if the Buccaneers are favored by 5, I just don't see the Dolphins scoring. So I probably will lean Tampa Bay this side. I probably won't put any money on it just because of what you said. The Buccaneers, they should look good, and they just don't. Yeah. They just don't look good. And it's in Miami, so that's another little knock. But I would probably lean the Buccaneers side if I was playing this, just because I do think the Buccaneers are a better team than what they've shown us, and I definitely think they're a better team than the Dolphins.
Right on. Yeah, no, definitely better team than the Dolphins here, man. Just real quick, who do you got in the Eagles-Bills game in a great matchup here?
Listen. Even though I'm a Steelers fan, I'm taking the Bills. Like, the Eagles are a good football program. They're good, right? They find ways to win, and they do. That's just the way it is. But their offense does not look like, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look clean. Like, Jaylen Hurts is I'm probably going to get roasted for this. I just don't think he's an elite quarterback. Like, I just don't think he's an elite quarterback. Like, he does do some good things, but his passes, his wide receivers, they're never in stride to their wide receivers. They're behind. His wide receivers help him so much.
No doubt.
And yeah, if this is the year, I'll tell everybody else, like the Bills, everybody wants the Bills to win the Super Bowl. Everybody wants Josh Allen to go to a Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. It's been the narrative for the last 4 years. But Mahomes has always took him out. Lamar's always taken him out. Well, guess what? Josh Allen, they're not in there. He's not in there. So if you're going to do it, this is probably the year to do it. So I'm going to roll with the Bills.
I'm right there with you, Matt. And great stuff as always, my guy. I'm glad you became a part of the show this season, Matt. Why don't you go ahead one last time, let everyone know where they can find your work and what you got going on for the rest of the playoffs, or the playoffs, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so obviously, guys, college football is no longer a betting part for us, but Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, that's where you guys can find us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and then fantasy6pack.net. Become an all-access member, guys. You have access to all our bets when you do that, not just the free ones. And then Fantasy Six Pack's YouTube channel right here. Every Tuesday night, we go live, and we talk about our NFL bets, which will continue probably for the next couple weeks. So that's where you guys can find us.
All right, man. Awesome season, man. It was great talking to you. Can't wait to do it. Hopefully you're back next year, man, if all plans work out. Let's stay in touch, my guy. Hope you have a good rest of your year and have a happy new year.
Yep. Thanks, boys. You too. Good luck, guys.
See you, Matt. All right, guys, before we jump in and transition to the next segment with Joe Bond, I just want to remind everyone, if you could please hit that like button, please subscribe to the channel. We really do appreciate it. And we will answer all your start-sit questions here in about 15 minutes once Joe is done talking his rankings and some major storylines. So keep dropping those in the comments. We really do appreciate them, and we will get to them shortly. So without further ado, let's bring on Joe Bond, founder of Fantasy Six Pack, multiple time top 5 ranker. Joe, how you doing, man? How's your Christmas?
Good, man. Busy, crazy, kids, family, all that kind of stuff. I'm exhausted at the same time, but it was a good time. How about you, man?
Good. No, yeah, I can't complain, man. It's a beautiful time of year. Just my son is 8, so he's still all about the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
So and I know you got young kids as well, so I'm sure that
my
on their face.
My youngest is 9. He, learned the secret last year
in that transition. Yeah,
and so it's kind of like it's not quite the same, but it's still, it's still fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
Still
all right, Joe.
Early.
I feel that. Luckily, our son actually let us sleep in this year, but I feel that usually that's not the case. But Joe, let's jump into it here. And Matt and I talked a little bit about the Steelers matchup. And Joe, both of these running backs have been really good as of late. And if you're an owner who goes with a little bit of a handcuff scenario, Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, and you roster both of these guys, who do you like better here in this matchup? And do you think both of these guys are serviceable this week?
So I slightly lean Gainwell, which is so weird to say.
Sure.
Just the way that they're using him, and they're using him closer to the goal line too, is just gives him a little bit of a boost. This is a tough matchup, don't get me wrong, but the Browns have been oddly beatable here and there, like on the ground. It's just weird to say. But and then I heard you and Matt talking about the loss of DK, right? And so I'll just get right to it, right? You're gonna get more run game involved. You're gonna get more of these Gainwell in the pass catching department involved. So that's gonna help both of them. And Gainwell, right, even more because he catches the passes. Outside of that, like I kind of agree with Matt where he was talking about the tight ends. I think you're going to get a heavy tight end day. I just don't trust any of these other pass catchers. I mean, who are we talking about? Calvin Austin? Who cares? Adam Thielen? Nah. Been there for like a week and a half, man. Like, no. Like I'm not leaning on any of those guys. The tight ends are complete dart throws and a slight lean to Washington and just hopes that, big body down in the red zone just kind of barrels over some guys, boxes out some guys in the red zone, in the end zone and catches the touchdown. If you're a Kittle manager, maybe that's somebody you kind of look at as a open prey, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, they're both usable, but I will say this, like you got to be careful using them, right? Like if you've got really solid options in front of them, I still lean the other guys just because they still do vulture off of each other, right? And so unless they just both have enormous games like we saw last week, which was totally out of the blue. Like who expected that? Like nobody, right? Unless they both have games like they did last week or even, close to that, it's hard to pick which one each week is going to be the main. It's going to be like the top scorer, the one that blows up. And so their ceilings are a little bit lower because of that. And their floors get a little bit lower because of that. And that lowers their overall ranking. Right. And, it's unfortunate. Like with guys like that, I tend to miss on them more often than not, because I'm not a type of ranker that's going to go, this is a week with Kenneth Gainwell, he's going to be a top 10 guy. No, because 8 out of 10 weeks, he's going to be a top 20 guy. Right. That 1 week where he's an actual top 10 guy, fine, I'll miss. But I'm going to make you right. I'm going to be right 8 times out of 10 instead of 2 times out of 10.
Sure.
So that's just, that's how I rank.
No, that's totally fair, man. I think both guys are serviceable, like you led to. In PPR format, I think I lean Kenneth Gainwell because his pass catching upside, obviously. All right. I like it. Joe, Matt and I also touched on the emergence of Trevor Lawrence here over the last, let's say, 4 to 6 weeks. And if you started him in your fantasy playoffs, Joe, likely you are sitting in a solid spot, and likely you're sitting in a fantasy championship right now. Do you have him ranked in the top 10? Like, has he solidified himself as a fantasy starting quarterback?
Yeah, man. I've got him ranked number 3 this week.
All right. Let's go.
Behind May and Burrow. And, honestly, I'm a little worried with May this week because he's lost 2 of his pass catchers, Mac Hollins and Boutte. I still think May can get it done. He's got Diggs, and he's got, Hunter Henry, who he can rely on, who, weeks that Mac Hollins and Boutte don't do well, it's Diggs and Henry, right? So it kind of mixes the matches. It just kind of like, it just sort of funnels the offense a little bit more, right? And so defense can kind of key on certain guys to where, it kind of takes away the spreading of the ball around. It helps out fantasy managers like me who have Diggs and are like, thank you, I need you this week, man. Give me like last week's thing with a touchdown added on, by the way. That'd be nice. But still, May and Burrow are the top ones for me. I worry a little bit. I heard there's a little bit of wind in the Cincinnati game, so that could be a factor for Burrow. But man, like, he's just so good. I mean, just a few weeks after coming back from this injury, we're already talking about he's like the top quarterback of the week. This guy's so amazing. But yeah, Lawrence, right there, man. It's hard to go away from this guy. Josh Allen and Stafford and Purdy and all those guys, like, they've got their warts right now too. Allen's going to be dealing with sounds like quite a bit of rain there in Philly. And so that hurts the passing game. Maybe that helps his scrambling a little bit, but it's just going to slow everything down to, sometimes sloppy games are weird where like you just get these blow up games, but also just sloppy games and a lot of 3 and outs, turnovers. We know Allen has the tendency to fumble the ball and things like that. So, you worry there, but yeah, man, if you got here with Lawrence, I don't know how you go away from him.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
I mean,
if I have him, I'm riding him as well to the finish line. He's got you here, like I said earlier, man. It's good to see him kind of hit his stride. Liam Cohen, obviously a good offensive mind, as we've seen him in many stops as an offensive coordinator. But yeah, it's good to see Trevor finally do it, and let's hope he continues into next season, Joe. Because I mean, sorry to put you on the spot here, and I know you probably haven't even thought of next year's draft rankings, Joe. But where does Trevor Lawrence go next year in redraft? Is he a 8 to 10-ish guy?
Yeah, he's probably in that back end QB1 range. You got to realize we dealt with so many quarterback injuries this year. I mean, like, we still got Daniels. We've still got Lamar, who's going to go in front of him. You got the normal trio, the Allens, the Burrows, the guys like that. T-Law's right in there, man. I think with like maybe slightly ahead of Dak and guys like that, just because I think Lawrence, we've seen it this year, right? He's starting to run a little bit more, which is what we all expected coming out of college. It just never really happened. And so this year he's starting to integrate that into his game a little bit. The emergence of Jacoby Myers, and they signed him to a 3-year deal, has been huge for him. So really got to like that. And so I think the 8 to 10 range is probably pretty fair.
Right on. Joe, one guy who hasn't emerged here the last couple weeks in the fantasy playoffs, that's Mr. Breece Hall, who's, I think, scored under 10 PPR points in either his last 3 or 4 matchups. Do you still have him in your top 24, or you're like, Breece, you're off to the side here. Better luck next year, man?
I mean, I've been kind of off of him for a while. He is just outside the RB2 range for me. The Jets offense is just atrocious. There's just nothing they can do, man.
Yeah.
Brady Cook, they're down to their third string quarterback. You talk about just bad luck with quarterbacks, man. Like they came in with Justin Fields. We all knew that was a huge gamble. We liked a little bit of upside with fantasy. He showed it for the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then we were like, "Yeah, this is working." And then it just the bottom falls out for him every year. This happens every year to Justin Fields, right? They mix and match with Tyrod. Tyrod gets hurt. Justin Fields is hurt. And now it's Brady Cook. Brady Cook is clearly not ready to perform on the NFL stage, and I had no idea if I was going to make it to the fantasy championship, but I stashed the Patriots defense through these last 2 weeks when they had pretty tough matchups for this exact reason, and I got here. So I'm rolling with the Pats defense despite all the injuries against Brady Cook and Breece Hall and, those guys. Just the offense is just not there. It'll get better next year when, and I'm completely blanking on his name, the receiver is actually healthy. Why am I blanking on their main receiver?
For who?
The Jets.
Donnie A.D. Mitchell?
No.
Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, Garrett Wilson. Yeah,
Garrett
when Wilson's back, that passing offense is clearly a step and a half above what it is right now. But they need to go get a quarterback, and they got to stop taking stupid chances on guys like Justin Fields and older guy. They just need to get a young quarterback and develop him.
You don't like the Malik Willis fit there? With the
no, Jets? Again, I think that's still just like I still think that's Band-Aid. Like a Band-Aid, like, oh, let's go after the flashy new toy type thing. Like, Willis was awesome last night. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think anybody's like, oh, Willis is the franchise quarterback all of a sudden. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I feel you. Joe, one other running back I want to touch on before we jump into George Kittle. Kenneth Walker, breakout week, probably on most fantasy managers' benches. Do we trust it now against Carolina, or is he someone that's still kind of low on the totem pole here?
A little lower on the totem pole still. Oddly enough, his 2 best games this year have been against the Rams. So very, very odd that is what happened there. And it was a couple of big plays too for the most part. Like he looked good, but he's looked good all year. It's just the workload and like the usage and the red zone work. Kyle sitting here, he does his red zone goal line article every year, every week, and I'm sure he can tell you when they get down there, it's mostly Charbonnet. So that really takes away from his value. Against Carolina, it's a good matchup, but I don't know. I just don't love it because it's just really hard to trust those Seattle running backs, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely on my bench last week. I watched him go off for 23. That sucked.
Doubt, man. Ken Walker was one of my biggest misses. I thought he was going to be good this year.
You and everybody else, man.
He fit the run scheme. It just hasn't worked out. Like you said, the touchdowns really hurt him. But Joe, before we get you out of here, just one more question. With George Kittle unlikely to play, not yet ruled out, give some fantasy managers some options here that need to scramble it to the waiver wire, or what are your thoughts here with the George Kittle stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious number one is Jake Tongas. If he's out there, you should have already picked him up this week. You no longer needed the third running back on your bench this week. It doesn't matter. You should have gone to go pick him up. If you didn't get him and you're playing this week, has already snatched him up. And I'm looking at like Yahoo percentages right now. Waller's only 53% rostered. It's possible he's still out there.
Sure.
Loveland's an interesting one. I'm looking at like I said, we talked about those Pittsburgh guys. They're sort of all shots in the dark as well. I really liked Taysom Hill earlier this week, but the more I dug into it, and like we heard about now that the coaching staff really game planned for him to have his last home game as a Saint, focused around him. So I'm sort of off him. But look, it is Tennessee, and I don't know if they truly trust Estime or Evan Hall to like carry that load. So I do think that you're going to get a little bit more usage from Hill than we saw earlier in the year, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near what we saw last week. Michael Mayer's another guy playing the Giants. Sure. The Giants are actually pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, the Giants are actually pretty good against tight ends, but Mayer has proved that he can get it done without Bowers. Yeah, it just stinks because we've had a lot of games played already, so we're kind of running low on options. But yeah, I mean, it's my favorite ones are Tonjes, Mayer, and weirdly enough, like Okonkwo, like he's another one that I think has been kind of coming on strong. And then it's just after that, it would be one of the three Pittsburgh guys.
Sure. Just hopefully you hit the right dart there. So we got a question here. You'd play Tonjes over Taysom, right?
Yeah. If Tonjes, if Kittle's out, you play Tonjes. Look, I think that's the best case scenario, right? Like unless we hear within the next hour or so that Kittle is officially ruled out, you've just got to hope that Kittle plays, can get through game, warm-ups. You throw him in. None of those other guys can touch what Kittle does, right?
Right.
Could they outscore him? Sure, but we know the ceiling of Kittle, the reliability of Kittle. Those guys are all touchdown or bust type of guys. Tonjes is like the easy to swap him in. Pearsall's coming back this week, but we've seen Pearsall. He was coming on strong a little bit the very last game, but now he got injured again. Is he going to be fully back healthy? I think that's the play there is take Tonjes and then just make that late swap if you have to.
No, it definitely makes a lot of sense, man. Definitely does. All right, Joe, let's get you out of here, my guy. Appreciate your time every Sunday. Your work is truly, it's great, man. So we really do appreciate it. What you got going on the rest of the year, Joe?
Yeah, so football's wrapping up. Obviously, we'll do some playoff content. I do playoff rankings, and then we'll have the Matt talked about the betting content. We'll still do some we'll still do the DFS content as well for football throughout the playoffs. Big thing is though, ramping up the baseball content big time over here at Fantasy Six Pack. I'll be releasing my early official rankings in early January. We've got some articles popping out with some dynasty content, some early top 10 rankings from Corey and things like that. But yeah, we'll be hitting it hard here with baseball coming the new year.
Love it, Joe. I'm excited to start listening to some baseball content here as it gets rolling out. So, Joe, great stuff as always. I hope you have a wonderful new year, and we'll talk soon, man.
Yeah, and you too. Good luck, guys.
See ya. All right, everybody, let's jump into the start-sit segment of the show. Mr. Kyle Senra is back after a week off. Mr. Keith Flemming, and here, where did I go? There he is. There's Ike Bonni. What's going on, fellas? I hope your Christmases were great. Let's just jump right into our questions and lead some fantasy managers to some championships, fellas. In PPR league, Pittman or Dowdle, and Hurts or Brissett. Kyle, we'll let you lead this off, man.
I just feel like with Phillip Rivers, it seems like Pittman's been like the one to suffer the most. We've seen Pierce have a spike game and Downs be heavily targeted, and it feels like Pittman just isn't what he used to be with Phillip Rivers. And it's hilarious because entering this year, that was the only guy Phillip Rivers had thrown to out of this group. So I almost assumed like, okay, with that, even though it was Pittman's rookie season, it was 1 year, and at that point he wasn't necessarily a featured weapon, but with the fact that he had gotten to play with Rivers show well enough, but 68 or 58 yards combined the last 2 weeks. So I don't know. for a guy that finished outside the top 60 the last 2 weeks. It just feels so hard to trust him. So I would just go with the running back Dowdle. I know it's a really tough matchup against the Seahawks, but at least he's going to get some semblance of touches. I don't know that Pittman necessarily has a ceiling with Phillip Rivers. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I'd go with Dowdle.
I think that's fair. Where are you going at the quarterback here? Hurts or Brissett?
So can we get into this a little bit like detailed? Because I've got a start sit spreadsheet that I do with this exact decision. So you guys mind if I share it and kind of talk through like the reason I might consider who I'm going to consider?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. Let me see here. So we have this.
I'm glad you know how to do this. I have no idea.
Yeah, no. I've done some on Dynasty 6 pack before. So anyway, I've got this thing, all my tough start sit decisions, which apparently this week are all about quarterbacks. I decided to throw them in here and look at a few different factors. Most of the first columns are production, their best game of the year, their worst game of the year, and then the median and average scoring. Just kind of knowing like, okay, especially we've got a full year's worth of production. What level are these guys producing at? What are they projected to score in this week? And then I look more at the team stuff, the defense, like fantasy points allowed, like where do those defenses rank? The odds makers totals and for implied team totals, but also game over unders. And then I put my goal line stuff in there, the goal line grade and the goal line grade difference. Anyway, when you look at a lot of those factors, Hurts really does look pretty negative. I mean, his average score this year has been the lowest between him and Brissett. Now this is a little expanded. I'm deciding between Hurts, Brissett, and Brock Purdy, but even between those three, with this scoring, Hurts has the lowest points per game average. Part of that is that stinker game he put up a few weeks ago. In this case, 4.4 points. His ceiling is higher than Brissett's. That's the one thing about Brissett. He's had an incredible floor, but I know in this scoring he hasn't hit 25 points yet. Whereas the other guys, they've had that 30-point week upside. So that is the one thing with Brissett is, does he have the ultimate ceiling? Does he get it this week against the Bengals, though? Is this the Brissett spike week? And I guess maybe like looking at the matchup, the Bills allow the 50 points to quarterbacks. Maybe Hurts scores differently than most quarterbacks. Their implied total is the lowest of the 4 teams. Same with the over-under, and I wonder if the weather really impacts that. I know we've got a question coming up, I think, soon that asks specifically about like the Eagles players in the weather. The goal line grades are actually really similar for their passing goal line grades. Slightly favored Brissett, but I'm looking at a lot of these factors, and it's saying to play Jacoby Brissett. So I guess my question, like, what do you guys think of this process for deciding start sits? Is there something I'm missing? And what do you think of the decision to, at this point, I'm kind of leaning playing Brissett over Hurts.
I like it.
I would have done Brissett over Hurts anyway. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, no, I like your process, man. To be honest with you, I've never seen anything like it, so that intrigued me. I've actually seen it, to be honest. So, Keith, you got any thoughts here? Do you got Brissett over Hurts, or are you still lean Hurts?
Again, it would be again. My voice is like shot, but it would depend on again the situation. If you need a big game, I go Hurts. If you don't, I would go Brissett. He's safer. And I would say for the receiver, like to look if Josh Downs is available because he has a 30% target rate this season. The issue's been he's not played more than 60 to 65% of the snaps. 2 games with Rivers, he's played 82 and 84%. Scored double digit in both. I think he's a really safe play versus Jacksonville, and somebody might be out there.
Yeah, good point. Ike, where would you go for the wide receiver here?
I would just do Dowdle over Pittman.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay, Dowdle over Pittman for you. Oh, right.
I do think he does have a wide receiver question here, though.
Zacchaeus?
I think, is that Jack Besh, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yep.
I'm not playing Jack Besh, so I would do Zacchaeus.
With the Dunze out again, does that make sense, Dylan, as the Bears fan? Like he's still, I know, looks like Burton's going to be back, but still be featured in the 3 wide receiver sets. And I don't know how much they play of that.
Exactly.
They've got 2 good tight ends there, but
yeah.
I feel like
Zacchaeus should see 4 to 6 targets, I would assume, and we've seen him be able to do some work with that. Caleb's got trusted him, so I think that I'm okay with that.
And I'll praise your Bears, Dylan. The Bears have the highest passing goal line grade and overall goal line grade. Or no, I think the Bills rushing have higher, but yeah, the highest passing goal line grade of the week belongs to the Bears. So
really
there's a good chance that they end up scoring a lot of touchdowns passing, especially. So I think definitely prefer that touchdown upside as Zacchaeus as opposed to Geno Smith and Jack Besh on the
Yeah, right on. Keith, you agree? You cool with Zacchaeus over Jack Betch?
Yeah.
All right on. Let's go ahead and move on. That's not a question, but from our guy Buki, forced to make most of my lineup decisions already, and I'm already cooked barring any major luck. Hopefully you get that luck, Buki. We appreciate you being around with us all season long, and can't wait to see you next year, my guy.
He says he wants to pop in. Like, does that count as a pop fly or pop flyby just to say
Ooh,
hello?
but
Anyway, Mookie, really hope you hit a grand slam today.
No
so
doubt.
I think I ball based well, or based whatever it's called. I know Joe talked about it earlier.
I think he did okay. But another Rico Dowdle question here. Need one in the flex. Dowdle, Gainwell. Ooh, Michael Wilson or Marvin Harrison Jr. full point PPR. I was just gonna lock Gainwell in until I saw Michael Wilson and Marv there at the end.
I still think I want Gainwell
in here.
I think I do. Yeah.
Gainwell. Keith.
Yeah, I want Gainwell. Since week 11, 19 points per game, 18 or more, and 4 of those. I mean, he's just so safe. 5 receptions in 5 straight games, and the Browns are allowing almost 23 points per game to opposing running backs since week 9. They've like completely flipped. You couldn't run on them early. Now they just give up. I think Cook was like the 7th straight back to have 17 fantasy points or more facing them. I think Gainwell has a big game. I think him and Warren both do. Remember, DK Metcalf's out. They're gonna lean on those backs.
I think Gainwell already leads the team in catches. Like entering this game, he's probably going to lead them in catches in this game, right? So I mean, it's like especially without Metcalf, right? So he might lead them in receiving yards in this game. I think just to clear on the wide receiver, we're all Michael Wilson ahead of Harrison Jr. at this point. Right?
Yes.
Correct. So I think Wilson would be the one deviation, I think, but I am also thinking Gainwell. Maybe that's hopeful thinking. We really needed him to do well for me in a championship game, but yeah, go Gainwell.
I think we're on it there. Another one from Cody. Need 2 wide receivers. Diggs, Wandell, DJ Moore, full point PPR. Roma Dunze still out here. Got some 2 wide receivers out for the Patriots as well, right? No Booty and no somebody else. So where Keith, take it away. Where are you going here? No Mac Hollins. Thanks.
I would go Diggs and Moore. It's just the volume. Don't get me wrong. Wandell has a chance to obviously have a big game versus Vegas, but we saw last week that Jackson Dart is just a pure passer. We got some work still to do. So, and they don't want him running. They don't want to get him hurt.
Yeah, they definitely neutered the offense there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it. Like, I don't know why they're playing him, but I get it. But I do. I think Diggs has got a great chance to have another really big game because he screwed me last week. I was just sitting him everywhere, and of course he went bananas.
Sure. Kyle clean sweep or Kyle and I clean sweep here with Diggs and Moore.
I think it's actually pretty close between Moore and Wandale, but definitely Diggs. I think the one thing with Diggs that was concerning, I think for about a month he had a finger injury, and in that month there was a bye week, thankfully, but so that's one less week of poor production, but 3 games outside the top 50.
Yeah.
That erased last week. Okay, he looked like he's back and he's healthy, so we can start treating him like we normally would as a top 20 wide receiver. I think Diggs back to locked in lineup. And back to the Bears passing goal line grade. Again, no Dunze. I know Burden's back, but it seems like another strong case for DJ Moore. Certainly a top 30 wide receiver. I think that's reasonable to expect.
Yep. Good morning. Need to flex one in PPR. Jaylen Warren against Cleveland. Jacoby Myers against Indy. I'm against Derrick Henry with a 29% chance to win. So looks like he's needing a boom week, guys. Jaylen Warren, Jacoby Myers. Ike, take it away.
Jacoby Myers is probably going to be the one that gets you just like your basic 10 to 15 points. But if you need the boom, I guess go Jaylen Warren because he could go off against Cleveland and maybe Gainwell takes a step back. So.
Yeah, we saw Warren go off last week. Yep.
Yeah.
Kyle?
He said earlier, you could see a game where Warren and Gainwell both go off. Like they're just if they can somehow control the ground against the Browns, and it's just all through the running backs. And I mean, maybe they both lead. Like there's the top 2 wide receiving players too in terms of receiving yards, like or at least receptions. So yeah, I think I like Myers. I don't think he's had a 20-point game yet with the Jaguars. It's been all pretty consistent, a lot of double digits, but has he hit 20 points yet? I don't think so. So I think if you're up against Derrick Henry, I think you got to go Jaylen. He's got that upside. I think he didn't get like 28 points last week.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Keith, would you go Jaylen Warren here as well over Myers?
No, I would go Jacoby Myers. First of all, Warren has so many clunkers. Like, I know you need a big comeback, but what would kill that is having like a 4 or 5 point game potentially. And Myers is going to get at least 10, 15 points. Indy gives up the most receptions in the league to wide receivers, 4th most receiving yards, almost 40 points per game in PPR leagues just to wide receivers. So I really like Myers. I like BTJ. I even like Parker Washington. Like, I think T-Law is going to have another monster game.
And T-Law's been doing a very good job of distributing the ball, man. That's probably a big reason why he's kind of cooking right now. And Joe and I talked. Joe had him ranked as his 3rd quarterback this week. Kyle, are you close with Trevor Lawrence up there
I
as
think
well?
I'm in the top 5 as well. Yeah, I've got him at QB4.
He's got 15 touchdowns, so passing touchdowns just the last 5 weeks. Like, it's not insane.
I don't know if this is crazy, but I've got Lawrence 1 spot ahead of Josh Allen. And maybe that was me being too low on Josh Allen coming off the foot injury, but he seems like a really strong
And then just real quick with you guys here, Joe and I talked about it as well. Has Trevor Lawrence kind of solidified himself in redraft leagues as like a
I'd say QB1 for sure.
Yeah, like QB 8 to 10.
I figure he'll be one of the
maybe even higher.
Yeah. Well,
Top
you know
8.
what?
Yeah.
I mean, he was going as I think maybe QB6 just a couple years ago, right? There was that boom of him potential. So yeah, you could even see him getting to the top 6. But I certainly think you won't really see many drafts where he's not a top 12 quarterback.
Sure.
Because I think with Hunter coming back, that'll also add to it. Like, now that they've extended Myers, like they've got this.
This
receiving
next
core
year
next
should
year, they've got
be
the weapons. Yeah.
his playground. He should have everyone back.
Yeah. So that narrative will definitely permeate, and he might even get into the top 6 in some drafts.
Sure. From Frosty here, need 3: Ramondre, Pitts, Henderson, Burden, Sampson, PPR league. Kyle, I'll let you take this one.
I mean, even though he's coming off the concussion, we like Henderson more than Ramondre, right?
If he plays,
we can't play both, but like I think we.
I've already said he's going to play.
They did say he's going to play.
Yeah.
But I think even just like, okay, are we worried that risk of he suffers another concussion, leaves the game injured, whatever?
It's still him over Ramondre for sure.
Yeah, his upside.
Nobody
is
on the
great.
Keith froze.
Hope he's not still talking while he's frozen. Voice. But yeah, Henderson's you lock him in. I think you could play both Patriots running backs, honestly.
I would do Henderson, Bird, and Pitts probably.
That makes a lot of sense to like if you bet on the upside of Henderson, that's where you go, right? And it's not enough for Stevenson. I mean, Dylan, do you consider Burden the wide receiver 1 right now on the Bears, or is it still DJ Moore when Doomsday's out?
It's pretty close. Like,
it's got to be DJ Moore still for now.
But it's close. Like, I think Caleb and Luther's chemistry is honestly a little better than DJ's and Caleb's.
I don't think we're going to see Luther fully what he can do till probably next year or sometime in the playoffs.
He's dealing with the ankle injury too that he suffered a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I would still slightly lean DJ as the number 1, Kyle over Luther, but it's close, man.
Agreed.
Keith, where would you go here for these 3? Does Dylan Sampson intrigue anybody here with no Quinshon Judkins, or is he easily the odd man out?
I mean, I just want those 3 center guys.
That's what we said. Yeah.
I mean, Pitts is getting so much consistent volume.
Drake London might not play.
I think is going to be potentially have a monster game because we haven't really seen him without a Doomsday since he's been involved more in the passing game and getting a higher target rate. Like he could do some real damage. And then again, you can't sit Henderson. The Jets are so bad versus the run. It's awful.
No doubt. Stafford or Hurts here?
I have Stafford as the QB1 this week.
Stafford for Kyle.
Stafford it is.
I would still go Hurts.
Go Hurts?
To me, it's terrifying to have a guy that's going to get you 0, points with his legs, especially when you have somebody like Hurts to play instead.
Okay. We're going to go Kyron Williams over Jaylen Warren, full point PPR?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess to that point, if this is the same lineup, Kyron to Stafford, that's not like a natural stack. You're expecting like Kyron to score rushing touchdowns and Stafford to be throwing to others. So Kyron could catch a touchdown from Stafford, but that wouldn't be an obvious stack. So like if you are thinking pure upside, to Keith's point, like Jalen Hurts has that, like, between Hurts and Kyron, that could be 5 rushing touchdowns, right? So
Yeah.
like if you need that ultimate upside, that does make sense to not play the stack. Because I definitely think I'd much rather play Williams over Warren.
Hurts went crazy last time he played in Buffalo 2 years ago. And there's a lot of running. I think he had like 2 or 3 rushing
he might
touchdowns.
score 3 rushing touchdowns.
Speaking of that game and some weather concerns there, we got Devontae Smith or Luther Burden.
I would go Burden again. Like the reason I like Hurts is the rushing. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I have no confidence. And not to mention you got a bad weather game, and those are 2 teams that they want to run the ball, and both run defenses have been really bad. Like, I mean, Buffalo's has been just it's insane. But I'd go Burden. I think he's got a chance for a really big game. He doesn't have the weather concerns that, obviously Devontae does. And I think we're going to see a really run heavy game with the Philly Buffalo.
Okay. Ike's not in agreement. Kyle, what do you got?
Do I have Devontae ranked too high? Because I've still got him at wide receiver 23.
Ooh.
So maybe I haven't.
I think that's still a decent range, I think, Kyle.
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just worried about with the weather, and I just think the game script. I think both of those teams are going to try to run it.
Goal line guy does say Burden, right? I've talked about that. So yeah, no, I think it makes sense.
Okay. Need some help at ESPN standard score and flex. Jaylen Warren or DeAndre Swift?
Oh, that's tough.
Yes, it is.
Back to the goal line grade. Like, so the Bears, because they have the highest passing grade, it's 19.5 points higher than their rushing grade. So you look at the difference and less likely for DeAndre Swift to score touchdowns, but their rushing grade is still 85, which the average this week is 80 for both run and pass. Whereas the Steelers, both their scores are below average, 72.5, 72, so almost equal. So when you look on the surface, you could say, okay, the Bears just seem more likely to score touchdowns. Like their implied total is higher. We expect that game to just be, I mean, the over-under, I think, on the Steelers
35 and a half. Matt and I
it's lowest of the week, right?
it.
So that's the game we expect the least amount of points. So with just total touchdowns seem far more likely to be on the Bears side. It just does seem that when the Bears score touchdowns, especially inside the 5, they seem far more likely to be passing touchdowns against the 49ers. So that is the one thing that I think I'm still leaning Swift just on the sheer game environment of how many points we think will be scored by the Bears. So again, I'm praising the Bears a lot, Dylan.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. No, but I think that's where I would lean here. I lean Swift. Keith, where do you lean?
I guess I'm just going to be contrarian today. I probably would go Warren here. Again, the Browns have been so bad versus running backs as of late. And I actually think that San Francisco-Chicago game could be a high passing affair. Purdy's playing very well. It's easier to throw on San Francisco than it is to run. I like Warren slightly better. It's really close, though.
Yeah,
looks like the 49ers give up the 12th fewest points to running backs. This is, I guess, half PPR.
Sure.
So don't forget, though, a lot of that sometimes is just, they're bad against the pass, so teams throw more on them. And it's not necessarily, or it can be game scripts. That's still kind of in that middle range where, Swift could definitely have a good game.
Mm-hmm. Like, we're going to go here, Swift or Warren?
I was going to say Swift.
All right. And then keeping it with you, man. Baker, Stafford, or Purdy?
Stafford.
Stafford for Ike. Keith?
Man. I think I'd lean Purdy. Atlanta has been pretty good, as much as I hate to say that, at home in the dome. Like, I could see them giving Stafford some problems because they have a really good pass rush. Something I never thought I would say again. We have 50 sacks, which is, I couldn't even tell you last time we did that. And again, I just think that Chicago-San Francisco game is going to be a very high-scoring affair.
Right on. I know Kyle's got Stafford here. He's got him as QB1 on the week. So let's go ahead and move on. Standard scoring, need 1. Dallas Goedert, Brenton Strange, Colston Loveland. Kyle, take it away.
Well, with the bad weather, does that mean better game for Dallas Goedert? Shorter depth of target? Is that going to be Hurts maybe more reliable target.
Definitely possible.
So
I think so. We've seen some shovel passes within the
Like,
red
he's
zone to
taking,
Dallas
like, the
Goedert
Travis
and Hurts
Kelce
as well.
thing.
Yeah,
Doing those
easy
weird
touchdowns.
He's got 10 touchdowns, which is insane.
And I mean, because
Really
they're getting
like
like to Ike and Dylan's credit, they're giving him like easy like shovel passes on the goal line. Like they're giving him like these design touchdown looks and specifically. So, and there was talk of were they going to trade him in the offseason. Instead, they've done the opposite. We're going to feature him more.
Yeah, right.
I mean, and this is the point. Everyone was thinking maybe they should trade him, and well, I guess this is why they didn't, right? So,
Right.
I like Dallas Goedert. I've got him. He and Pitts are my tight end 2 and 3 this week. So,
Okay.
credit of the question earlier of should we play like, Hendo and Pitts for sure. I think so. I really like those two tight ends specifically. But yeah, I like Goddard.
Yeah. Seems like we're all in on Goddard there. Go ahead and move on. We got need one wide receiver. Michael Wilson, Jacoby Myers. It's a tough question here, guys.
Myers.
Myers for Keith.
Well, I mean, again,
Wilson
it's just
is-
the fact that the Colts are the worst in the league, basically, against wide receivers. 31st, I know, on like DraftKings and most rankings, but most receptions, 4th most receiving yards. And it's indoors, which is nice, right? Like, let's score some points.
Yep.
I think Wilson just isn't quite the same when Marvin Harrison's on the field. And I know he's
Trey
kind of
McBride
questionable.
might get 20 targets today. Seriously, since he's so bad, they have allowed 250 more receiving yards to tight ends than any other team in the NFL. They're giving up like 15 points a game
Jacoby Brissett, right?
in
Of,
standard.
like,
No, for sure.
but I think it just Harrison being there. And I mean, I don't know if he was officially active yet. I think he was still questionable going into the game, but we'll find out probably in the next 20 minutes or so. But it looked, I mean, he played last week after coming back from the injury. And again, he's not 100%, but just enough to annoy you with Michael Wilson. I think I do agree with Keith on Myers.
Ike, you gonna go Myers here as well?
Yes.
He's expected to play, is what it says.
Okay. And I just want to take the train off the tracks here for one more second here. We already talked about next year's rankings. A couple years ago, guys, we saw Travis Kelce go the back half of round 1. Is Trey McBride now that tight end where he goes the back half of round 1 and reach?
Brock Bowers is that guy, buddy.
You
Well,
you're
that's
still
like-
going to
I
take Brock
think-
over McBride?
Absolutely. Like he
Okay.
played this season on one leg, missed games, and he still had basically 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. Like Brock's the truth, man. Like just wait till he gets a quarterback and
The thing
gets back
the thing
healthy.
that I noticed
Go
with
ahead, Kyle.
Kelce is that the years he went in the first round, it was actually not the good years to take him. Like you're swinging and missing by a year, right? So I would say I don't want to take Trey McBride in the first round just based on that history. In what just Keith said, Bowers will be better next year, and then we'll want to take Bowers in the first round. You basically should always, between the two, for the next few years, whichever one is the cheaper, just take that one. So next year, take
Makes sense,
Bowers.
yeah.
I will
Assuming
say
Bowers
though,
does
I'm
better
good
than
with
McBride,
either
go
one of them at the
McBride.
turn, like
Exactly.
because they're getting number 1 wide receiver volume. Like
Yeah.
there's no other tight ends in the league doing that. I mean, like the volume McBride's got is insane, and Bowers was on that level last year when he was healthy. I mean, he literally left the first game with a knee injury, and they shut him down, right? Because they were telling him all along that's the only way it's going to heal.
No doubt. But yeah. I've never been a tight end in the back half of the first round guy.
I get it, but I think these guys are different. I really do.
No, exactly. It intrigues me now with those two. But next question here from Dion, we got Strange Goddard. We like Goddard, but do we like Fannin more, man, who has been Shedeur Sanders by far his favorite target since him taking over? Ike, what do you got here, Fannin or Goddard? That's strange, I guess.
I'm gonna go Fannin just because the weather. If the weather is better, I'd probably do Goddard, but I still believe Fannin's gonna get mad targets like he usually does.
We sure the weather in Cleveland's good?
I have no idea.
It
that's
never
it.
is.
I know it's, like,
It doesn't matter though. To me,
well,
like
I know
again
around
with
the
a
Great
tight end.
Lakes, like there's a lot of like ice storms coming, and like it
They
doesn't
both
look
get similar
great, so-
work. Like Fannin's getting the weird shovel passes too and runs. So I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. So
I think that it would be a mistake to start Goddard over Fannin with what we've seen. I mean, this is now a pretty big sample size. Last 3 games, 31 targets, 19 receptions. That's, again, like that's like wide receiver 1 volume. So I'm going to play Fannin.
he's getting more targets than freaking CeeDee Lamb.
Exactly.
It is looks like it is expected to rain early in the game, but not last as long. Not like the Buffalo game where it's supposed to just be all throughout and pretty high winds. So yeah, I guess it's neither weather is great. It's a little bit better with Fannin. I suppose that could be it. But Fannin's also dealing with an injury. He's actually still not officially active. Again, we'll find that out in about the next 20 minutes or so. Just his health might be enough to lead me towards Goddard, to be honest. Because I know, we know he's not going to be 100% in the game. And I have such a lack in the Browns passing. I know it's the Steelers, but I as bad as their defense,
they're 30th versus tight ends, by the way.
I think the Browns offense is worse, but he is the best piece. Fannin's the only Browns player you can start this week, I think. Back to an earlier question of do we start Dylan Sampson? I'd rather not. But Fannin's the guy. I think he's the one you want to if you're going to target any Brown.
I feel you. It's not as easy as most would assume here with Dion's question, James Cook over Gainwell, but I can't fathom sitting James Cook, right, guys?
He's got 10 games of 20-plus points this year, 9 games of 100-plus rushing yards.
He's the rushing leader, so come on.
And Philly's bad against the run. That is their weakness. Yeah. So I expect him to keep on keeping on.
They're especially bad as a goal line short yardage running team, so the touchdowns are there. I think especially, again, with Josh Allen dealing with that foot injury, he'll be active, but we know it's not 100%. I think especially the goal line running for Allen could be they just they're handing it off constantly. They don't,
and that's changed a little bit even before this injury, where I think they just don't want to get him hurt. To your point, and they're like, why let him? When they're just trying to basically, if I was a defensive player, I'd be trying to kill him on QB sneaks and runs down by the goal. So, and Cook's just so good, man. Go Dogs! I'm so proud of that dude. I was high on him. Never envisioned this.
I didn't think it'd be this good.
I think he's literally one of the best, pure runners in the NFL.
Is he better than his brother?
Oh, yeah. He scored 35 touchdowns the last 2 years.
I mean, yeah.
Right. Dalvin had some incredible seasons, but I think he's at least showing his peak is the same as comparable to Dalvin, where we truly view Dalvin as one of the best running backs.
Dalvin Cook, though, was never near or leading the league in rushing with 2 weeks to go. I'm telling you, Dalvin's very good. I'm not trying to disrespect him. It's just everybody was shocked with what James Cook did last year. Called it a fluke.
He's never
every bit, if not better this year. And the Bills just re-signed him because they're we're going to give this guy the rock a lot over the next few years.
I'll say I've got James Cook at RB2 this week. McCaffrey's the only one I have ranked higher. So that's as great as I think Gainwell will do. It actually is a pretty easy decision.
I would ask who is your other players you got starting over Gainwell potentially, but
the fact that you're questioning Cook. James Cook, maybe did Dion already play Derrick Henry? Right. Man, you smash people with Derrick Henry, James Cook. It's a great way to be crowned a champion, I think.
We starting Michael Carter or Ramondre Stevenson?
I'd start Carter because he's going to get all the volume.
That way. Yep. I lean that way too.
Is
massive
game total.
Well, he's going to get a majority of it. I'm just saying he's going to get a majority of it. And I would rather if Henderson was out, I would, get a frown on my face, take that pill and play Stevenson because you got
the best.
I do not want to play that dude.
Oh man, Henderson I was so looking forward to it. The worst news I got this week was Henderson was going to play because I was so looking forward to bashing Stevenson against the Jets in a lineup, and now I'm just
seeing him fumble twice for no reason. I just see it now.
It's a tight end premium league, and do I play AJ Barner at tight end or Colby Parkinson perhaps? Do I, because it's a tight end premium league, do I go with the tight ends over the backup running back?
Don't play Parkinson. We were the one team that was able to shut down McBride with Brissett, and that's where I think we've been that way all year. We're the first or second versus tight ends.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I'm leaning AJ Barner seems to make the
most sense. I like
the upside. I think I'd go Carter as well, but it's really close now.
Joe answered this in his segment because he was talking about Jake Tonjes. We'd go Tonjes over Taysom here with Kittle if he's ruled out.
Yep.
Kittle's very unlikely to play. I saw it on.
And even if because he's just a crazy animal warrior, Kittle powers through and plays, we know he's not going to be 100%. So we the snaps are going to be limited. Jake Tonjes is going to have a role tonight. Regardless, I mean, it'd be much better if Kittle was out because then he's going to be the main tight end and probably the second or third target on the team overall. If Kittle's there, maybe he's the fifth target, but he still usable. The problem with Taysom Hill is that he's had like no ceiling this year. Like we're 3 touchdown games, and like last week was amazing, and he still just got 15 points. So like the old taste, like the ACL tear last year, it kind of ended what Taysom Hill used to be. So we can't really consider that true high upside anymore. So yeah, I think even if Kittle plays, I think I'd still play Tonjes over Taysom Hill. Maybe I'm just a Taysom Hill hater.
Where are we going here? Juwan Jennings or Mike Evans? Full point PPR. I can't fathom sitting Mike Evans in my fantasy playoff, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna go Mike Evans.
It's another one where I would be asking though, like, who are you starting over Jennings and Evans? Because Jennings has been really good the last 5-6 weeks, and he gets a lot of volume. Again, I'm not saying I would not sit Evans. It's harder to deal with if he ends up going off, but I do really like Jennings this week. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've got Jennings at wide receiver 15. So to Keith's point, like, it's tough. Like, man, you must be really solid. Like 2 top 12 guys. One of them would be Evans for me. I've got him at wide receiver 6, going up against Miami. So I prefer Evans, but yeah, would be curious to who you're playing over Juwan Jennings, because he is a really strong player.
Probably had like a CeeDee Lamb or something.
Did you see that Dion said he does have Derrick Henry and James Cooks? What a
good.
Good for you, Dion. Go.
Yeah, no doubt. Halfway.
I somehow in all 3 of my finals matchup did not play against Derrick Henry, so like the hope is still there.
Collins was his other one.
Halfway PPR pick
Nico. Gotta play Nico.
Yeah.
Well,
Jennings.
I have Nico and I have Nico and Mike Evans as wide receiver 5 and 6 this week. So
need 2 here, guys. Jennings, Swift, BTJ, Michael Carter, Shakir. It sounds like you guys want to lock in Juwan Jennings here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then who is going to be?
Go BTJ and then Lawrence.
PPR.
Because it's half PPR, I like Swift. Like I probably go Jennings, Swift.
Full PPR, I probably wouldn't have played Swift, but I'm with you. Like half PPR, I think that he's the safest of those guys.
Because to Ike's credit, I do like playing Lawrence, so that the Brian Thomas Jr. stack would be nice. I think
manifesting a big game from Brian Thomas finally. It's gonna happen.
Eventually, right? Jennings and Swift. Jennings, Swift, and Lawrence would be the trio I'd go with.
All right. Brissett or Lawrence?
Lawrence.
Yeah.
I think one of them is more likely to catch passes to take advantage of the field. I'm just kidding. I really like Brissett against the Bengals, but I do think I prefer Lawrence because Brissett, you can exploit the Bengals defense, Bengals defense against tight end, but to Keith's point earlier, Lawrence can exploit the Colts defense against wide receivers. So yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
Devonta Smith, DJ Moore. Had Jacobs in the lineup, so hopefully need a good boom game. Who gives us the better option here with Luther Burton back? Is it still DJ?
I would go DJ. Again, Devonta is probably the safer of the two because DJ's had some really bad games, but if you need a big one, he said he needs a boom game. I think DJ Moore is more likely.
Yeah, I think that's where I think
highest passing goal line grade of the week. So even as they get like touchdowns,
Jacobs screwed me too. So sorry, people had to start him.
Yeah, the team I have Jacobs got eliminated last week, so I didn't have to. It's not to go for third place, but it wouldn't have hurt. That doesn't hurt as much, but. DJ Moore, we saw him score from far, unfortunately, against the Packers last week. Unfortunately for me, very fortunately for Dylan. But I think they could also, DJ Moore has good, goal line touchdown upside as well. So.
Sure. Keith Dion's looking out for you, man. He says a little, some hot tea with a little bit of honey.
Dude, I've already done it once this morning, and trust me, I'm going to do it when we get done. And for me, it's difficult, but I'm going to try to not really talk the rest of the day. My wife's like, yeah, right.
Love it. Championship loss away. So hopefully we can help you here. Taysom Hill, Michael Mayer, Mike Gesicki, Tonjes, and BTJ Tucker or Kyle Williams.
That one I'm definitely going BTJ.
It's just
for sure of those receivers. And now Mayer, it's not Myers, it's Mayer. So that's the tight end. Mike.
Yes. Yeah. Which I kind of would do him too.
Without Bowers.
Oh, so hold on. It might be split, guys. So we got Taysom Hill, Mayer, Gesicki at tight end. Where would we go there?
Gesicki or Tonjes as well. I think I like Michael Mayer, honestly.
I would do Mayer.
because
slightly over
the Giants, I don't think are a very good defense at all, overall, but I think also against tight ends. So I think there's production there for Michael Mayer. With if Kenny Pickett was that quarterback, I'd say no, but with Geno Smith in, I think that's enough for me to go with Michael Mayer. And yeah, to Ike's point, I'd definitely go Brian Thomas Jr.
I'd still ride Tongas. I think the Raiders are going to be able to run all over the Giants. I think Genty's going to have a huge game. And I just think that what I saw from the Giants last week, I think they're actually going to probably be in the driver's seat for the number 1 pick after today. So, and I agree. I'd go with BTJ.
And then there's a quarterback too. So
yeah, Kyle went.
I would just
and again, I would go Purdy, but yeah.
Keith went Purdy. Yep. Tyler Warren, Hunter Henry, or Tonjas? We still riding Tonjas here, full point PPR.
I would.
He's the Kittle owner as well. I think that makes the most sense.
I guess just without the other receiving options, do we really like? I kind of like Hunter Henry this week.
I guess that's fair.
That's a thought.
Like, no Butte, no Hollins, and even Demario Douglas is questionable, so not going to be 100%. Like, seems like he's going to be the number 2 target. And
no, that's a really good point. Yeah, I would play Henry.
All right, Henry, it is there. What a brutal question this is, guys. Lawrence, 30%. I'm scratching my head right now thinking about it. Go ahead, Kyle.
Well, back to that other question though, it's if it was just those 3, I'd play Hunter Henry, but because you have Kittle, like if Kittle plays, I want to play Kittle. I know it's like you'll be hobbled if he plays, so I think that hope of him potentially playing means I just probably wait it out and play Tonjas.
That doesn't make sense to me though. You just made a great case for Hunter Henry being the top option. And now you're saying you would play Kittle, who we know it's unlikely he's going to play.
Okay.
And even if he does, he's going to be extremely limited. Like, you just made a great case, and then you're going to go with, like,
you know what? Thanks for calling me out, Keith. That is good. Yeah, play Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry. Sorry, I doubted myself. Hunter Henry.
There you go.
I love Kittle too much.
I get it, but
you're right. Hunter Henry's the play.
We still gonna go T-Law here, guys?
I mean, you got to ride I think the hot hand. And again, it's indoors. The only thing that concerns me is Indy going to be able to score points? That's one of the reasons I really like Purdy. And the same thing for Brissett, because Cincinnati's going to score points. But I think if T-Law has another 3-4 touchdown game and you sit him, that, I think that would be the toughest, pill to take.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. We're going to go Goddard over Taysom, right?
I don't trust Taysom.
All right. With not knowing if Kittle will play or not, do I play Goddard or pick up Juwan Johnson or Tonjas?
Oh, see, I like Juwan Johnson.
I like Juwan Johnson too. That's what makes it tough.
He had his 9th double-digit game last week, and a big reason was Devon Bailey done for the year. It is pretty much now Olave and Johnson getting all the volume, and Olave's, banged up, I know, or whatever the deal is. I don't know if it's illness or what it was, but he is going to play. But I think Johnson is a very safe play to get 10 points.
Yeah, I do as well. I just wonder who Cody would have to drop here in order to make that move.
Does it matter? It's the championship.
True.
I mean, it's probably dropping Goddard, right? If you're committing
probably,
to playing
great
Juwan
point,
Johnson,
Keith,
why roster Goddard? So
yeah, you're right.
I imagine that it's you either play Goddard or you're dropping him.
It's the last game of the season. Can't hold anything back.
So I mean, that's easy, right? You're not maybe your other guys are locked down and you don't have many options to play.
We know.
Because you're probably not going to flex Goddard or Johnson. Whoever you choose to play a tight end, you're probably not flexing the other, right? So
sure.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in you as the movie guy. You didn't get Keith's reference right there.
I was dozing off, not paying attention.
Because they didn't hold anything back.
Bobby Boucher.
Come on.
Oh, nice.
Waterboy.
Idea.
I haven't seen Waterboy in a minute, man. It's been a while.
That's an Adam Sandler movie.
No,
right?
Colonel Sanders, you're wrong.
I've seen that one.
Mama's right.
You can't spend too much time watching Happy Gilmore over and over again.
I'd play Pitts.
Kyle Pitts over Tonjas, right? Yeah.
He's getting so much volume. And again, if London doesn't play, we've seen what that equates to. He'll get 10 to 12 targets.
No doubt. Where are we going here? James Cook, Henderson, or Gainwell? Still James
Again,
Cook.
I would ride Cook.
Why is
Yeah.
James Cook even meant?
I mean, I understand it because technically Henderson and Gainwell have better matchups, but Philly's not good either. They're like 21st versus running backs.
I get bad weather, but doesn't that like mean that they're just
Help.
going to run more? Like,
Right.
I think bad weather means like potentially positive for James Cook.
Yep.
I mean, maybe that's less receptions, but I think good.
He didn't
really
really catch a
good
lot of
touchdowns.
passes anyway.
Yeah,
We're
just
gonna
score
go
touchdowns, right? That's all we want. Just score touchdowns.
Tanges.
With Kittle out. We gonna go Tanges over Strange, guys.
Yes.
For me, I think I would go Strange here. Again, terrible. I think they're 29th versus tight ends. And I also just think that game's going to be more competitive. So I like Strange. I think Indy is going to have a really hard time slowing down T-Law this week. And to that point, I would, again, like you also would play T-Law, in my opinion, and you got that T-Law Strange connection.
Well, that's, I mean, Drake May because of the rushing. I do think that, like, I've been hemming and hawing, like I have both in my top 5, May and Lawrence. Like, I think at points I've had Lawrence ahead of May. Right now I've got Drake May at QB2.
For me, it's not about, I mean, you know, I've been touting May all year. It's just the fact it's the Jets. I don't expect it to be competitive.
Yeah.
And I think it can get out of hand in a hurry. Now, granted, it could with them, but what the Jets have really been bad against is the run, basically since they made that Quinnen Williams trade.
To be fair, they've also been horrible against the pass, but like looking back at Drake May's game log, I do see previous game against the Jets, he only scored 15 points. It was actually one of his worst games.
Did it get out of hand?
And
Travion Henderson, that was the first Henderson, I think,
help.
game where he went bananas, if I'm not mistaken.
So they just couldn't stop the run at all, and it made it. And then I look at like Lawrence, his previous game against the Colts, 19 points. And
yeah, he had 32 points against the Jets last time. Henderson did.
Yeah, so maybe actually, should I rank Trevor Lawrence as QB2 this week? That's kind of. I think you're right about that, Keith. Yeah, and
he scored 30 in consecutive weeks, and it's not like the Colts are a good defense.
Now, the one thing I said here may help me get here, but he has a dead offense. Like, what is that supposed to mean? I don't quite get that. Like,
he's saying all the injuries because they got so many.
Kayshon Boutte and Mac Hollins aren't that important. He's got Stephon Diggs. Like, he's got.
You say that, like those guys are good receivers. Like, I think Mac Hollins is extremely underrated. He was
helped
big
Drake May tremendously the past
good
weeks.
blocking guy.
Yep.
Too.
I don't know. I just don't think it's a dead offense. I think you've still got your number one receivers. I think as long as you have Stephon Diggs, you've got the offense. And to be fair with May, it's the rushing too. Like, okay, so the receivers aren't there. Maybe that means he runs more, especially against.
Trevor Lawrence runs decently well too. So
I think you guys are talking me into it. Again, I've been flipping back and forth all week between them. I think you guys talked me into Lawrence over May. So yeah. Trevor Lawrence QB1. Is that possible? Because like right now I brought him QB2 because that was basically between him and May at that QB2 spot. And, I do like Stafford a lot, but
I'd start Strange here.
Strange for Keith. Strange, Barner, Tonjes.
Might as well go Strange. I'd probably say Tonjes just because.
You want some Strange, Ike.
Yeah.
I think it's between those two. As much as I do, I'm hoping they're a good game for AJ Barner for greedy purposes. Between Strange and Tonjes as top tight ends on those offenses that are going to score points.
Michael Wilson,
Luther Burden,
I'm going Michael Wilson there.
I would lean Michael Wilson as well, as much as I love me some Luther.
I think I would go Luther. Again, I have concern about if you're not Trey McBride today in that passing game, I have no idea where the ball is going to go or how much success they're going to have. And the Bengals have actually been better as of late as a defense. They're still struggling with tight ends, but they've kind of, I don't want to say turned it around, but they've had some good performances, which they didn't have early this season.
Yeah. Fannin or Strange in standard.
See, I can't, again, Fannin 31 targets the last 3 weeks, 19 receptions. Like I can't set them. Steelers are 30th versus tight ends too.
I think you're right on it, Keith. Patriots defense or Seahawks? Got to go Pats here against the Jets, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, right? Because Seattle's playing
Carolina.
Carolina.
That's not bad either. But
It's in Carolina, though, right?
It is. Yep.
Yeah, I think I would probably lean Patriots.
yeah,
It's close.
Brady Cook or whatever his name is doesn't scare me.
Am I being stubborn that I still have the Seahawks as the number one defense this week? Just because they've been the number one defense all year, and I don't think the Panthers O-line is like strong enough to say, oh, the Seahawks won't get sacks, and Young is still prone to turnovers.
They've been really good at home, though, is the issue.
Have they been the thing is, those Seahawks are better on the road. So does that neutralize the home advantage? And I know this was talked about earlier in the week in terms of just game results. The Seahawks are 4-0 on East Coast 1 p.m. starts. So typically this
weird stat.
But because typically we worry about that, right? Oh, these West Coast teams don't do well, especially on those early Eastern. The Seahawks have been unaffected. I think they have one road loss on the year. So I don't know. I'm just, again, maybe stubborn. I see them as the number one defense this year. And unless they have a bad matchup where an offense, oh my God, that offense can score so much that it can really do them wrong. And I just don't have enough faith that Bryce Young is that. So again, stubborn me, I'll stick with the Seahawks as the number one defense. But that's what I have them in my rankings. I considered them lower. I do have the Patriots as I think defense number 5. So
let's come on, man. Let's get to the rest of these questions. I got DFS lineup stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Don't talk too much about defense. I'm sorry.
In a tough spot with Drake London being a game time decision tomorrow. Not sure if I risk it or if I just play it safe and go Dottle or Waddle instead. I already have a 37% chance to win thanks to Gibbs. Whew.
Waddle against the Bucks, but it's
Keith, what do you got? Do you got anything from local radio?
I'm sending Myles Garrett a text right now. He works for the Falcons. For the AJC, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Kyle, where would you go here?
I'm trying to think who is the most upside. Because unfortunately with London, if he's this questionable, we're not sure he's going to play. He's not going to be 100%. We saw it last week. He was wide receiver 70. So does he truly have a high ceiling if he's not healthy?
I mean, the coach said he looks great. So I'm going to roll with Drake London. I'm rolling.
He's an idiot. Just to be fair, I would probably still roll with Drake.
Gotta trust the coach though, so at least a little bit. But your 37% chance to win already. I mean,
actually, let me say this:
is gonna move the needle.
Can you find anybody on the waiver wire that I know they're not going to be Drake London? They may not even be Rico Dowdle or Jaylen Waddle, but that you could put in there if London is a late scratch because
David Sills.
I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Or if it's a flex spot, a random Rams tight end.
Exactly. I just don't want you to get a donut. That would suck.
At least give yourself a shot at someone getting a potential touchdown, right?
So if you can do that, I would roll the dice with London because you're already needing a big game. I mean, Waddle is interesting. I don't trust Quinn Ewers.
No.
No doubt.
Yeah, okay. You guys talked me into if London's healthy enough, he probably has the higher ceiling. 8 targets last week. The catch rate was so low. So
off of Kyle's point earlier.
I'm going Henry. That's a great point.
Yep. Kyron Williams, or I'm assuming Marvin Harrison Jr. at the.
I'm going Kyron.
Unless it's both Cardinals receivers. I would go Kyron Williams as well.
Yeah. Also, if Fannin is out today, are we comfortable starting Hill? No, you're not comfortable about it, but I mean,
you might not have a better option.
We can find something else.
I would actually think at tight end there are most leagues Brent Strange is probably available. Tonjes is probably available.
AJ Barner, perhaps.
Yeah.
Barner. You don't need to go with Taysom Hill.
And I know he could have a big game. It's it's almost written in the stars now, and I've talked so much smack about him. But, and again, I know you need a boom game. I'd still say Juwan Johnson because
I think that's right.
Kyle's point, what was it? 15 points was Taysom's biggest game this year. Johnson's had scored double digits 9 times. So I'd go Juwan.
I'm with you. Played for 5th place, just having fun in this. Tyler Shador Sanders.
Shuck's been pretty good, man. We giggle 18 points or more, and I think 5 of the last 6.
I'm shucking some corn, man.
He runs a little bit. I like Shuck. He's one of my favorite. If you want to really spend down And DFS DraftKings, that's to me the option because you can stack them with Olave and Johnson. No, that's where all the volume's going, and it's relatively cheap.
Yeah, easily Tyler Shuck. I mean, I've got Shooter Sanders like QB 28. They have the Browns have the lowest passing goal line grade of the week. Their rushing goal line grade's pretty bad. Like I just see so little touchdown upside with that whole offense.
Mike Tomlin historically kills rookie quarterbacks too.
And I'm fine with Fannin from the perspective, like as Keith's mentioned throughout, he's just going to get a ton of targets. Like there's going to be volume there, and most of their receiving yards is probably going to be Fannin, but anyone else, I just don't want to play any Browns.
Yep.
For this one, Hurts or Lawrence? Keith went Hurts. Pretty sure Ike and Kyle went Lawrence, correct?
Yeah.
And again, it's a coin toss.
Jeff's got one more question. Kyle, where do you got Colby Parkinson ranked since you're the only ranker on the panel here? Where do you got?
So in half PPR, I've got him at tight end 20. And to Keith's point of like they're really strong against tight ends, the Falcons defense is, and they're splitting. It looks like more Terrence Ferguson. So like Parkinson isn't necessarily getting all the tight end targets. So yeah. To this point,
Barner, Colby Parkinson, Taysom Hill, Michael Mayer here.
I think I'd go Barner.
I am starting Barner over Parkinson again in a tight end premium league. Now I don't know if I think I have Michael Mayer actually ranked higher, but pretty close. Tight end 11 to tight end 15 for Barner. So
all right,
either of those two I think are the better options.
Ike, you're good with Barner there?
Yeah.
All right, PPR need one. Loveland, Henry, Waller, Tonjes. This one's Hunter Henry, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hunter Henry.
If no, London, Wan'Dale Robinson, Michael Wilson, Luther Burden, full point PPR.
That's a lot better.
We answered Wilson over Burden earlier. Do we go Wilson over Wan'Dale?
Yes.
And
even
again,
with Marv back,
I'm the outsider saying Burden over both. So
okay.
Goal line guy would say that would agree with you, Keith. I think it. Yeah.
What's up, fellas? Purdy or T-Law? I think Keith went Purdy here. Ike and Kyle went T-Law.
But again, it's
go ahead.
No wrong answer.
Kyle, any recommendations on a kicker dart throw here? Someone who may not be rostered?
With Jason Meyer doing so bad last week, was he dropped? Because I'd still play him. Eddie Pinheiro for the 49ers. I don't know if that maybe he's been rostered in a lot of league. You know who's been
Eddie
really
Pinheiro
good?
revenge game. All right.
Yeah.
He used to kick for the Bears.
One guy that has come on lately, Charlie Smith from the Saints.
Okay. I have noticed him on Red Zone. Yep.
Oh, Keith, you might like this one because it's a dome game, and maybe I expect the Falcons to score some points. Zane Gonzalez against the Rams, or Harrison Mevis against the Falcons. I think either of those guys.
We're not very good in championships. That's all I'm gonna say.
So I think I actually like those Monday night kickers just because they're in the dome, right? Like, and so
I go New Orleans here
over the Jags defense. Okay,
yeah.
Kyle, Ike.
Sure. Yeah.
Jags defense at number 6. I've got the Saints at 8. So I think they're both really strong options. The Jags a little higher.
Saints are 9th in EPA since week 10 on defense.
We want Saints over Pittsburgh D here, right? Slightly.
No. Give me the Steelers defense against the Browns.
Steelers defense over Cleveland.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've got them as the defense number 2 this week.
Yeah, Cleveland's kind of banged up big time, so
yeah, Sanders has thrown 6 picks in the last 3 games. So I go Pittsburgh.
Again, lowest scoring game of the week, right? So not a lot of touchdowns. So I think there could also be some interceptions, as Keith just mentioned. So
and Diaz says Fannin is suiting up today. He saw some good news there, guys. What a great season doing this with y'all. It's been a great time. Hopefully we help people down the line. Seems like I'm sure we've hurt people down the line. Hopefully that's more. Hopefully that happened less than we helped people. But
that was Joe Biden's fault.
Yeah, definitely. Blame it on the
starts
boss,
and questions he answered. Yes.
Yep. No doubt. Kyle, Ike, do you guys still got your articles going this week?
I think I'm done. I think I'm done.
Yeah, I think
because no one plays
17,
next week.
I mean, I've referenced the goal line guide articles. The week 17 goal line guide is there. So if you got for the next hour, I mean, it could apply to Monday nights too. Rams do really have some high grades for both their running and passing. But yeah, I know Joe mentioned potential playoff content. So I might do goal line guide articles during the playoffs. I didn't last year, so I'll reach out to Joe and see if that's a thing. If not, Dynasty 6-pack will return at some point in January.
yeah, make sure to check out Dynasty Six Pack. We're getting right into Kyle, right into the wheelhouse here, right into Dynasty offseason and all that stuff. So make sure to check that out. And then Ike, we'll catch you back next year on this show. Yeah.
Yep. I'll be back.
Buddy. Have a good one.
I'll find you if not.
Have a happy New Year's. I'm sure.
And I appreciate getting to join this year. I've enjoyed Dylan, Ike, Keith, talking with all of you, interacting with all the listeners and viewers as well. So happy to be part of this.
Yep. All right. Ike, have a good one. Kyle, happy New Year's, man.
See you guys.
We'll talk. See you guys. All right, Keith.
Let's burn through this, right? My voice sounds like it's about to croak. QB, like, again, we talked about May. I think he is a value at 6,800, but ultimately I think you need to either play Trevor Lawrence at 6,100 or Tyler Shuck at 5,200. The Titans, and that was kind of what I was getting into. So I know that we have fresh on our mind the Kansas City game, which they look great. That was against the second and third string quarterback. In the 4 previous games, they allowed 10 passing touchdowns and an average of 280 passing yards per game. And then for T-Law, again, we'll get into the receivers in a second, but Indy is so bad against the price. And what I love about Lawrence is you can stack them very reasonably. Running backs, Saquon Barkley, 7,600. He scored 62 points the last 3 games. And this Buffalo defense, over their last 3 games, 428 rushing yards, 19 receptions for 130 yards. And oh, by the way, 7 touchdowns. They're having issues with backs, and I think Barkley has a great chance to go off today. He's been showing signs of life. Genty is my favorite back by far this week, 6,100. Giants allow almost 6 yards per carry. Giants are allowing 5.6 points per game over what is expected to be ran on them. And, you know, Genty is just like what he did against the Texans was unreal last week. I didn't think anybody would do that.
Yep.
And just, oh, by the way, they're at home, indoors. Genty indoors this year, 20.5 points per game. On the road or outdoors, 7 points per game. So that's big. Again, I love being able to play these 2 backs together. Kenneth Gainwell is another guy that's going to be in a ton of lineups, 5,600. Feels very safe because, again, he's caught 5 passes or more in 5 straight, 38 targets in that span. He's averaging 19 points per game since week 11. And the Browns they forgot how to, deal with running backs. They're allowing, again, 22.5 points per game since week 9. I do want to mention Tony Pollard real quick at 5,500. He's had 367 rushing yards the last 3 weeks. He had 365 in all the games before that this season. Nuts. So he's figuring something out. Wide receiver, Olave, I don't really have to go into it. 5 games since the bye, 50 targets, 19.4 points per game. Jacoby Myers, again, Parker Washington, BTJ, pick your guy. They're all very reasonably priced. Indy, they allowed the most receptions, 4th most receiving yards to wide receivers. And again, almost 40 points per game on DK. Parker Washington's had 70-plus receiving yards in 3 of his last 7. And Myers has had at least 6 targets and double-digit fantasy points in 5 of the 6 games with the Jags. A.D. Mitchell, volumes king. Mitchell seen at least 6 targets in 6 straight, 47 targets in that span. And, oh, by the way, Patriots run a lot of man. Mitchell has been targeted 31% of the time when facing man defense this year. Josh Downs, who I think we touched on briefly in the show, 4,200. The big thing for me is he is 23rd among all wide receivers in target rate. But the issue was he had not ran more than 75 or played at 75% of the snaps all season until the last 2 games. He was below 60% for 6 of his first 12. He played 82% in the first River start, 84% in the second one. No surprise he got 2 double-digit games. And this offense is turning into a more short, intermediate passing game that's good for Josh Downs. Tight end, you have to play Trey McBride. Whether you go bully tight end, whether you play him at tight end, you got to play him. He leads tight ends in receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns among all pass catchers. He's 3rd in receptions, 6th in receiving yards, and 3rd in touchdowns. And this is a Cincy team that allows 22 points per game to tight ends in PPR format, almost 15 points in standard leagues, which is insane. The Bengals, again, 250 more yards allowed to tight ends than any other team in the NFL. Tight ends are catching 70% of their targets on the season versus Cincy, and 10 different tight ends have scored at least 13.6 points or more versus Cincy. Don't overthink it. Play them. Harold Fannin 5K. Volume is king. Last 3, 31 targets, 19 receptions. Same case for Juwan Johnson at 4,200. 35 targets over his last 5 games. 30-plus receiving yards in 9 straight. And he's 9 times this year scored double-digit points. And the defense, if you could play the Steelers, I would love to. Sanders 6 interceptions last 3 games. I can't do it. I'm going with the Panthers. They're dirt cheap. 2,100. They've scored 5+ points on DK in 4 straight, 6 of their last 7, and they've been much better at home. And I appreciate Dion with the get well bug because my voice is toast.
Yep. That's all. That's what you got, Keith?
Yeah, that's it.
I love it, buddy. Great stuff, man. I hope you had a great Christmas, and I'm glad you came on. I'm glad you came on the show, man. Keith, you've become one of my favorite people I've met in the fantasy industry, dude.
Oh, man, that's
you're the man.
Don't make me cry or something. Come on, dude. You're killing me. Do you want to get this guy's question real quick and then we'll get out of here?
Go ahead. Yep.
Purdy or Lawrence? I am in the minority. I don't know if Dylan, you answered that one, but I like Purdy slightly more, but I'm not going to blink at anybody starting Trevor Lawrence.
That's where I'm at. I don't mind Purdy. You alluded to it earlier. He's been on a roll here as of late. I think it's like 8 touchdowns over his last 2 games. So he's been rolling. Bears secondary's a little healthier now with Jaylen Johnson back. Still no Kyler Gordon.
You know what? Actually, I kind of just made my own case. The Colts, the same Colts that Lawrence is playing this week, 5 touchdowns to Purdy last week. Yeah. Only Joe Montana and Steve Young had ever done that in the Niners' history as quarterbacks. I think I would lean Lawrence, actually. And apologies to the guys that I said Purdy.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, no Kittle for Purdy either, too. Kind of a little bit of a safety blanket. We saw Kittle go off. So, all right, right on. Yeah, Donald, we just answered that.
So I go T-Law, man. I think it again, playing the Colts that Purdy just threw 5 touchdowns against.
Yep. All right, guys. All right, Keith, let's get out of here, man.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Everyone listening, appreciate you all for tuning in. Can't wait to do it all over again start next year, but I hope everyone has a great rest of winter, great summer, and we'll see you back next fall. Make sure to check out Keith's whatever Keith's got going on. So
well, we covered football during the playoffs, and then we got golf right around the corner.
All right, perfect. All right, see you guys.